Hello, welcome to MCFC Connect. I hope we're all well, and I hope we are feeling good. I hope you like the room. It is still quite new to the channel, so I'm probably going to keep saying that for a little bit. But welcome to the channel. Today we are talking about Hugo Viana, Sporting Lisbon's head of football, I believe, sporting director. I'm not too sure what the actual title is, but bottom line is he's been there for about 6 years. He's got a lot of business done, and he is coming to Manchester City early next year, but fully taking on the role that Txiki will leave at the beginning of the 25-26 season. So, for all intents and purposes, it is a big appointment. Now then, you're probably wondering, why have Man City gone for Hugo Viana, of all people? Now then, look, I don't know Hugo Viana. I didn't know him until Fabrizio dropped that tweet/Instagram post covering it. I didn't know who he was. I don't know many names, when it comes to this kind of stuff. So I'm not really intertwined with it all. But I decided to go out of my way, look up Hugo Viana, see what deals he's made, see why City would want to sign this guy. Well, sign him. I don't appoint him. I think it's really the word. And see what kind of deals he makes and what kind of record he has. Now I haven't got every signing up for you, but I have got a big chunk. Well, not a big chunk, a good chunk of them. It's a good lot to talk about. I'm going to really look into this. So I'll go into all these. So Gyökeres, not Coventry, I think he was bought from, bought for 24 million euros, his second most expensive signing, which I've got on this list. Bought for 24 million euros. Now, and if you don't know him, since last season, I believe he's kind of been on fire for Sporting. This season, he's just following the same record as well. He's just doing better and better. So, yeah, he's certainly a top player. Gyökeres, and a force to be reckoned with, it seems, in that league. Rafinha, now then, they were the team to buy him before he went to Rennes and before he went to Leeds, and then subsequently before he went to Barcelona. They bought him for 6.5 million, really cheap price. They did not spend a lot, and it really shows where he's gone to and what kind of player he is. Hjulmand, again, I think a player that joined last season, but he's just done really well with them. I believe he's from Denmark, and yeah, he's just doing really good. A key player in Denmark's national team now, I believe, too. I think he is key for them, I believe, for both squads. I think he has kind of become a natural starter for the club. Pedro Gonçalves, he's been at the club for a while now, good 4-ish years, I believe. And to be fair, I think he's always been smashing it for them, to my knowledge. I've known of this player for a while. And yeah, he just seems to always be doing good. He's at 26 years old. He's entering his prime years. And look, this season he's already on 5 goals, 5 assists in 7 matches. So there's certainly a good player in there. And so it's certainly not a signing to be sneered at. Now then, Porro, Man City fans, you should know this guy. Tottenham fans, you should definitely know this guy. And obviously Sporting fans will have some knowledge on him. These guys bought Porro offers for 8.7 million, a bargain considering how well he did for them on loan. I think it was a loan to buy kind of deal, so they managed to get him cheaper than he actually was, or would have been. Ugarte, United fans, you'll definitely know him, and probably most Prem fans will. He has signed over there this summer, but he was bought to Sporting, the most expensive signing on this list, for 24.5 million euros. And then, Man City fans, you will 100% know this guy. Wolves too. Matheus Nunes, 950k he was bought for, not even in the millions. He was bought a while ago. And yeah, he really went on to do well at Sporting. I don't think he's quite set the world alight in the Prem yet, but hopefully he can. Now then, let's have a look at what these players are worth now, because I'll tell you what, it's quite a sight. Gyökeres, 70 million. He looks to be kind of Hugo Viana's crown jewel of signings, to be honest with you. He really does seem to be something. He's just been banging in goals this season. If you search up his stats, you'll see what they are, and they're kind of crazy. He's a key player, seems to be the biggest name in the team at the moment, doesn't seem to let him down, can pop up a goal and an assist, it seems. And 70 million, look, when he gets sold, which could easily be next summer, you could easily see him go for 100 million, to be honest with you. Rafinha, he was sold for 21 million, and, looking at that now, over triple what they bought him for, which is pretty good going. That's a decent profit. For a player that I actually don't think did spectacular at Sporting. I think he got 4 goals, 4 assists in a season. Then I think he left the following season, but they still made a lot of money on him, considering how he was a flop signing of sorts. Hjulmand, his market value has doubled what they bought him for. If they sold him now, they'd make at least 40 million probably, unless there were other things going on. And yes, it's just a big upgrade since last season. Goncalves, he's currently worth 32 million. I wouldn't sneer at that, to be honest. I think there's obviously a player in there. Maybe it's because he's been at Sporting so long that his stuff's gone down. But hey, if he keeps having the season he's having, then it could easily go way up. Diomande. I didn't cover him over there. Pretty sure they bought him off Strasbourg, I believe. But I think he was signed this season, I believe. And he just seems to have really set the world alight. It was either this season or last season. I can't quite remember when he was bought. But bottom line is, I believe since the get-go he's done really well. He's 20 years old. This guy's probably going to get a move in a year or two. He seems really good according to everything I've read on him. And yeah, it's just, if they sold him now, they've just made so much profit. Ugarte, big profit here. Really, really good. Sold for 60 million euros to PSG, not United. That's just crazy. That's way over double, 36 million-ish more than what they bought him for. That's really good going, to be honest. You can't complain with that. And Nunes sold for 47 and just under and a half million. That was to Wolves, signed for a lot of money, and signed for such a small fee. And to sell him for such a big one is just incredible. Easily the biggest profit here. Unless Hugo Viana got sold, I think. Would he? No, he actually... it'd be really close, actually. I'd need to look at that. If he was sold for 70 million. When Gyökeres does get sold, he'll probably get sold for like 100 million. So he probably will beat that. But yeah, Nunes, I believe, is the biggest profit out of the players that have actually been sold. But yeah, moving on though. Now you're going to see on Nunes is a underline, a line just underneath him, separating 3 players from the rest. You will recognise at least 2 of these names if you're a Premier League fan. I have put the sold for on the bottom 2, but that's okay. Bruno Fernandes, the biggest selling here of 65 million. Now then, the reason why he's not on both sides is because Hugo Viana didn't sign him. But I can confirm that he was signed for just under 10 million. And so Hugo Viana's obviously done at least decently well to make 55 million off him on his transfer to Man United. He's made a lot of money there. It's a real good signing. Selling the best one on here, that's for sure. And he went on to do quite well at United, Bruno, especially in that first season. He was really smashing it. Sure, it's been a bit iffy here and there since, but hey, Sporting won't complain. That's a really, really good bit of business they've done. That's 55 million-ish profit. Moving on to Palhinha, who went to Fulham. I can't quite remember how much they signed. He may have actually just been an academy player, Pellegrini. I can't quite remember, but yeah, he got sold for just under 25 million, and it shows the quality of player that these guys are able to produce and bring to the club. Because now he's at Bayern Munich. They signed him for 51 million in the summer. There's clearly so much talent that they tend to bring to the club. I know Hugo Viana didn't bring those three. But I mean, all you need to do is have a look at the rest of the list. Those are all like top key players for Sporting over the years and Champions League endeavours and making it to Europe. And Mendes, who is a PSG left back, it says 38 million there, but to be honest, guys, it's actually a bit more. Reason being, in the 21-22 season, Mendes got loaned to PSG for 7.5 million euros. And he came back from the loan the following season and then got sold for 38 million. So really, they actually made 45.5 million for him, but they actually sold him for 38. Now then, that brings to a close all the players. And by the way, Mendes was an academy player. He was an academy player, so just huge profits on a whole there. Now then, totals. The screen to the left there, he signed those lot for about 105 million ish, roughly. So decent fees. 105 million on 8 players. He's not spending too much, over 10 million per player. Now you go over to the other side. Now then, another reason why I put the underlines is because I haven't included Fernandes, Pellegrini, or Mendes on the calculations for that 350 million. 350.4 million. And as a profit, that's just under 245 million. That's a huge profit on 8 players. Now, this easily could have been more, lads. There were some players I left out because I didn't know a lot about, and I was running out of time. There's so many more players I could have put in here, that were sold on for smaller fees, like a Leicester player, I think Fatawa is his name. They sold him for just under 20 million, but I believe they also signed him quite cheap. So they're so good at just bringing in players for low and selling them for big, it seems, or a lot more than what they bought them for, which is something City have done. Your biggest example is a player like Julian Alvarez, signed for 15 million-ish, sold for 75 million, which could go up to 90, given the add-ons. Just an incredible bit of business on both of the tables there. And look, that's something that you might see from Hugo Viana. You might see some mysterious names come to the club that we may have never heard of. But then they just seem to set the world alight. And look, they ain't going to get sold on if they're playing for City. They just aren't. It's a huge appointment of Hugo Viana. And I hope he works out. I think this is really promising, these stats here. He's clearly brought some talent to his club at Sporting. And that's just in 6 years. And I haven't even bought signings from all those years. And Nunes, I think, is the oldest one there. I think he's got signed in his first season. But anyways, big ups to everyone who's watched this video. I hope you learned something maybe. I hope this gives you a little bit more insight on Hugo Viana and who he is and what he offers Man City and even the Premier League in terms of talent. Will some of these Sporting players come to Man City? I think it's a possibility. You've seen it before. When certain things happen, like, hey, look, Erik ten Hag, he likes to bring tons of his old mates from Ajax to United. Now, I'm not exactly asking for that kind of stuff, but I wouldn't be surprised if you easily see maybe one Sporting player join Man City in the summer. Anyways, I hope you all learned something. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, feel free to like and subscribe. I really would appreciate it. We just hit 1.1k. Let's try for 1.2. Big ups to you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.